Prime Minister Modi to address the nation today, and this would be Prime Minister's sixth address to the nation since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Indian and Chinese military officials hold third round of co-commander level border talks at Chushul in Ladakh. The two sides are expected to deliberate on the implementation of agreement on arrived at the first round of talks. The French defense minister expresses solidarity with India on the Galwan face-off, condoles martyrdom of 20 soldiers at Galwan. Madurai bench of the Madras High Court deputes revenue officers to the Satankulam police station to preserve the clue materials seized over concerns of evidence tampering in the death of the father-son duo. The court orders the DSP from Crime Branch CID to take up the investigation. Tamil Nadu government replaces the Thoothukudi SP. India's first successfully developed COVID-19 vaccine candidate, Covaxin, gets approval for human trials. Covaxin, developed by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with the ICMR and the NIV Pune. The human clinical trial scheduled to start across India in July. Government issues Unlock 2.0 guidelines for period between 1st to 31st of July. Schools and colleges, metro rail, cinemas, gyms and bars to remain shut. The domestic flight passenger train services to be further expanded in a calibrated manner. Strict lockdown to continue in the containment zones. TikTok removed from Apple's App Store and Google Play Store after government bans 59 mobile applications including TikTok, CamScanner, ShareIt over public concerns on data security. Says the banned applications are prejudicial to the sovereignty, integrity and defense of the country. Also harms the privacy of the citizens. The recovery rate of COVID patients in India continues to show steady improvement, crosses 59%. The active cases in the country more than 2,15,000. The global COVID-19 cases over 1 crore 2 lakh with more than 5,04,000 deaths. The WHO chief warns pandemic is still speeding up. Hello and welcome. You're watching Doordarshan News with me, Nancy Kohli. A top story: Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the nation today. The Prime Minister's office has tweeted via its Twitter handle that the Prime Minister will address the nation at 4 p.m. today. His address comes against the backdrop of the country entering the Unlock 2 from 1st July, for which guidelines were issued by the Union Home Ministry on Monday night, further easing the restrictions imposed due to the COVID-19 lockdown. This would be Prime Minister's sixth address to the nation since the outbreak of the pandemic. In his recent interaction with the chief ministers, he had urged them to think about the phase 2 of unlocking to boost the economy hit by the COVID-19 pandemic and the nationwide lockdown. In his monthly Mann Ki Baat address on Sunday, Prime Minister had urged people to be more vigilant in the unlock phase and take necessary precautions, stressing that not doing so will put at risk their lives and the lives of others. The French defense minister has written a letter to the defense minister Rajnath Singh expressing her condolences on the martyrdom of the 20 soldiers in the Galwan Valley. Expressing deep sorrow over the incident, she said that it was a deep shock on the soldiers, their families and the entire nation. Describing it as a difficult time, she expressed firm and friendly support from the French armed forces. Describing India as a strategic partner in the region, she reiterated the resolve of France's deep solidarity with India. The French Armed Forces Minister also expressed her readiness to meet Rajnath Singh in India at his invitation to follow up on their ongoing discussions.
पिछले बार ही इस बात का अंदेशा था कि इस वर्ष टिड्डी का प्रकोप गत वर्ष की तुलना में और अधिक होगा और इसलिए केंद्र सरकार पहले से ही इस तैयारी में लगी थी। केंद्र सरकार ने हाई लेवल मीटिंग की जिसमें सभी राज्यों के संबंधित अधिकारी, जनप्रतिनिधि भी उपस्थित थे। लगातार मंत्रियों के द्वारा मुख्यमंत्रियों से चर्चा की गई, सचिव के द्वारा चीफ सेक्रेटरी से चर्चा की गई और ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी के स्तर पर लगातार जिले के अधिकारियों से निरंतर संपर्क बना रहता है। और उसी समय सभी राज्यों से अपेक्षा की गई थी कि जो प्लान हाई लेवल कमेटी में बनाया था उस प्लान को राज्य में ठीक प्रकार से क्रियान्वित हो सके और इसलिए राज्य इस बार टिड्डी के प्रकोप को लेकर पूरी तरह जागरूक हैं। सब जगह जिला प्रशासन पूरी जागरूकता के साथ काम कर रहा है और केंद्र सरकार के अधिकारियों के साथ उनका तालमेल ठीक प्रकार से बना हुआ है। पिछले बार जब ये महसूस किया गया कि टिड्डी का प्रकोप थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा तो हमारी तैयारी भी ज़्यादा रहनी चाहिए और इसलिए राज्य सरकारों को संसाधन उपलब्ध हों। इस दृष्टि से केंद्र सरकार ने टिड्डी प्रकोप को नियंत्रण करने की दृष्टि से अगर राज्य सरकार को आवश्यकता लगती है तो एसडीआरएफ के पैसे को वो उपयोग कर सकते हैं। ये अनुमति भी राज्य सरकारों को प्रदान की गई जिससे उनको वहाँ ट्रैक्टर लगाना है, अन्य काम करना है तो उनको किसी प्रकार की दिक्कत नहीं आए। हमको भी एसडीआरएफ
स्टेट डिजास्टर फंड
और उस समय ये भी आवश्यकता महसूस की गई थी कि हमको मेन पावर भी बढ़ाना पड़ेगी, मशीन की पावर भी बढ़ाना पड़ेगी और वाहन भी बढ़ाने पड़ेंगे। तो मशीन के लिए ब्रिटेन की एक कंपनी को हम लोगों ने ऑर्डर दिया, लेकिन बीच में लॉकडाउन की स्थिति आ गई और उनके यहाँ भी सारी फैक्ट्रियाँ बंद थीं, इसलिए वो डिलीवरी में थोड़ा विलम्ब हुआ है। 15 मशीनें हमारे पास और अतिरिक्त आ गई हैं। इस प्रकार से कुल मिला के 45 पहले थी, 15 ये आ गई, तो 60 ग्रुप केंद्र सरकार के अभी वर्तमान में कार्यरत हैं और 11 जुलाई तक 45 मशीनें और प्राप्त हो जाएंगी। उसके बाद हमारी ये क्षमता और बढ़ेगी। 55 वाहन नए भारत सरकार ने खरीदे हैं और मानव संसाधन बल को भी बढ़ाया है। इसके साथ ही हम लोगों की यह भी कोशिश थी कि जो मशीन से और वाहन से उपयोग करके टिड्डी के प्रकोप को रोकना और उसे मारना, उसके अतिरिक्त भी कुछ प्रयास किए जाएं। तो उसी हाई लेवल मीटिंग के समय ये भी हुआ कि ड्रोन का भी उपयोग किया जा सकता है, जहाज का कोई उपयोग हो सकता है क्या, हेलीकॉप्टर का उपयोग हो सकता है क्या। तो लगातार केंद्र सरकार के अधिकारीगण इस दिशा में काम कर रहे थे और मुझे ये कहते हुए प्रसन्नता है कि जब इस बार टिड्डी का प्रकोप हुआ तो हिंदुस्तान की सरकार ने सबसे पहले ड्रोन का उपयोग किया और मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता है कि अनेक बाधाओं के बावजूद भी सिविल एविएशन मिनिस्ट्री ने इस प्रकोप को दृष्टिगत रखते हुए उन्होंने ड्रोन के उपयोग की अनुमति दी और सिर्फ अनुमति नहीं दी, रात्रि को भी ड्रोन का उपयोग कर सकें इसकी भी सिविल एविएशन मिनिस्ट्री ने हम लोगों को अनुमति दी और उनका उपयोग आज टिड्डी को मारने के लिए किया जा रहा है। हेलीकॉप्टर का आज उपयोग शुरू हो रहा है। यह भी मैं समझता हूँ इतिहास में पहली बार हमारे यहाँ इसका हेलीकॉप्टर का उपयोग टिड्डी प्रकोप के नियंत्रण के लिए किया जा रहा है आज ये हेलीकॉप्टर मिल गया है, इनसे अनुबंध हो गया है और आज ये अपने मैदान में जाकर अपने काम को प्रारंभ करेगा। और मुझे प्रसन्नता है कि जितने प्रकार के संसाधन की आवश्यकता थी उन सब संसाधनों को जुटाने का प्रयत्न किया है और 45 मशीनें जो 11 जुलाई तक हमारे को मिल जाएंगी वो मशीनें भी उपयोग में आएंगी तो निश्चित रूप से हमारी ताकत और बढ़ेगी। और इसके साथ ही 4 मशीनें ऐसी जो हेलीकॉप्टर से स्प्रे कर सकें। तो भारत सरकार ने वायुसेना से हेलीकॉप्टर लेने की बातचीत की थी और वो बात हो गई है, लेकिन चूंकि वो मशीन की उपलब्धता नहीं थी इस वजह से वो हेलीकॉप्टर का प्रयोग नहीं हो पा रहा है। लेकिन हमारे लिए खुशी की बात है कि ये हेलीकॉप्टर हमको मिल गया। ये इस काम को तकनीकी रूप से ठीक प्रकार से कर सकता है, तो आज ये हम काम प्रारंभ कर रहे हैं। लेकिन जो 4 मशीनें ब्रिटेन को ऑर्डर की हैं वो हम लोगों को शायद अगस्त सितंबर तक मिलेगी। तो निश्चित रूप से इस बेड़े में एक और बड़ी ताकत बढ़ेगी और वो मशीनें जब आ जाएंगी तो एक ये हेलीकॉप्टर है और 4 हेलीकॉप्टर वायुसेना के भी इसमें जोड़ेंगे तो इस प्रकोप से निपटने में और इस पर नियंत्रण पाने में निश्चित रूप से सफल होंगे हम लोग। और मैं आप सबके माध्यम से राजस्थान, उत्तर प्रदेश, मध्य प्रदेश, गुजरात, महाराष्ट्र, हरियाणा या आसपास के सभी राज्य जहां इस प्रकार की आशंकाएं हैं वहां मैं किसान बंधुओं को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि केंद्र सरकार इस परिस्थिति में पूरी तरह जागरूक है और हर संभव इस दिशा में प्रयास कर रही है कि टिड्डी का प्रकोप हमारे किसानों की फसल को नुकसान न कर पाए। और राज्य सरकारें भी इस दिशा में पूरी ताकत के साथ प्रवृत्त हैं और राज्य सरकारों का और केंद्र सरकार का पूरा कोऑर्डिनेशन बना हुआ है। आज हेलीकॉप्टर का उपयोग हम लोग प्रारंभ कर रहे हैं। इस अवसर पर मैं हेलीकॉप्टर के सभी पायलट और अन्य सहायक कर्मचारियों को बहुत बधाई देना चाहता हूं कि वो मिशन पर जा रहे हैं और ये मिशन उनके नेतृत्व में उनकी सूझबूझ के कारण पूरी तरह सफल होगा। और इसके लिए संबंधित मेरे मंत्रालय के, सिविल एविएशन मिनिस्ट्री के और सभी अधिकारियों को भी मैं हृदय से बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने इस मुकाम तक इस लड़ाई को पहुंचाने में जो योगदान दिया है वह निश्चित रूप से अभिनंदन है।
दिल्ली को लेकर क्या कुछ अलग से कोई प्लान है, क्योंकि दिल्ली एनसीआर में भी परसों नोटों जो है टिड्डियों का प्रकोप दिखा।
दिल्ली के लिए कुछ अलग से किया जाए इसकी दिल्ली के लिए कुछ अलग से किया जाए इसकी ज़रूरत नहीं होती। सामान्य तौर पर जो हमारी टीम राज्य सरकारों के साथ मिलकर टिड्डी के बारे में पता करती रहती है और जिस क्षेत्र में टिड्डी का प्रकोप होता है, तो जैसे कुल मिला के अगर दिल्ली में टिड्डी आई तो दिल्ली के नज़दीक हमारी टीम्स कहाँ हैं, तो वो एडवांस उन टीम्स को खबर कर दी जाएगी और वो दिल्ली में आकर अपना काम करने लगेगी। ऐसे उत्तर प्रदेश में, अपना मध्य प्रदेश में, राजस्थान में, गुजरात में, सब तरफ अनेक जगह टीम फैली हुई है और वो
The Union Minister there, Narendra Singh Tomar, in fact, who is just flagging off the helicopter with insecticide for locust control in the affected areas. He was talking about how the locust control is going to be tackled as far as the neighboring states are concerned, where of course this menace has spread to a vast extent. We'll go back to that live where of course that flagging off was taking place, but we are moving on now to some other stories in the bulletin. The External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has tweeted about his conversation with the French Defence Minister and covering issues of contemporary security and political importance. He said, I quote, wide-ranging discussion with the French foreigner. All right, so we are seeing these live visuals once again, going back to this live that we had got you earlier from the Greater Noida helipad of the flagging of the helicopter there with the insecticide for locust control in the affected areas. Of course, a measure that's being taken to control as far as the large swaths of locust attack is concerned. We had of course seen many states in northern India had reeled under the impact of the locust attack, and of course this is something that had anxiously being waited for, and now the flagging of the helicopter that is taking place with insecticide for locust control in the affected areas. The helicopter with pesticide filled for locust control in the affected areas. The locust attacks, of course, active in Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and Haryana, and this is a measure that's being taken to make sure that the large swaths of locust which had remember attacked some days back and of course was making its way from Rajasthan to other states in the northern India is now being tackled. And this is a great step that's been taken forward of the helicopter that will carry the insecticide that will continue to be sprayed to attack and control the locust attack. The Union Minister Narendra Singh Tomar there of course flagging off this helicopter with insecticide in it being flagged off from the Greater Noida helipad. So we're of course seeing earlier the drones that were used to spray insecticides, and now this helicopter that is being flagged off for spraying insecticides to control the locust attack. Remember, locusts had swarmed various parts of Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and in fact vastly affecting different states in different parts of northern India, and this is a step now being taken to control the locust attack. Earlier, of course, drones were used to spray insecticides as swarms of locusts had arrived in Uttar Pradesh as well. And it was being reported that around 60% of the locusts had been killed through that drone spraying, and this is another step that's being taken to control the locust menace in northern parts of the country. And earlier on, just to give you more background how the drones were used, 4 drones had been used by the central government that had sprayed the insecticides, and today we are seeing this helicopter that's being flagged off to once again spray the insecticides to control the locust menace in various parts of northern India. So a lot of measures clearly being used as far as controlling the locust attack is concerned. We of course know how tractors and fire brigades were earlier used for spraying the insecticides, then drones were used, and now today we are seeing helicopters being put to use. We're seeing these visuals of the Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. They're flagging off of the helicopter with insecticides to which of course will be spraying insecticides in the air to control the locust menace. Control operations, remember, to control the locust menace had been going on for some days now, and this is just yet another step, a big one that too being taking place right now as far as flagging off this helicopter from the Greater Noida helipad is concerned to spray the insecticides in the air to control the locust menace. locust attack, of course, remember, had wreaked havoc as far as various parts in northern India is concerned. How it had damaged the crops. It had become really a menace for people to come out and walk clearly. And remember how the authorities had issued a high alert. Locust swarm had entered different parts in Uttar Pradesh and even crossed then after crossing Madhya Pradesh, that was. And this is yet another step being taken to control the locust menace. The locust menace, remember how it had frightened everyone. Clearly, people were advised to stay indoors, not step outside and keep their windows and doors shut. But even as those advisories were being issued, many steps and many measures were being taken by the authorities, by the district authorities, clearly to control the menace, the locust menace, which had been impacting people's lives to a great extent. And today what we are seeing is, of course, after the use of drones, now a helicopter being used to spray insecticides to control the large swarms clearly of the locust menace in different parts of northern India. Well, that helicopter has just taken off from the Greater Noida helipad after being flagged off by the Union Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, and how clearly it's taking flight in the air and how this will start the process of spraying insecticides. Their minister speaking. Let's listen in. All right, we'll go back to what the Union Minister Narendra Singh Tomar was saying after flagging off that helicopter for spraying the insecticides in the air to control the locust menace is concerned. That helicopter has taken flight. It's in the air in the process of spraying insecticides to control the locust menace, which had wreaked havoc in several parts of northern India. We'll go back to those live visuals as soon as we have those. But we are going back now to our top focus in the bulletin, and we were talking about how, in an attempt to de-escalate the tension clearly in the eastern Ladakh, the Indian and the Chinese military officials holding a third round of co-commander level border talks at Chushul in Ladakh, and the two sides are also expected to deliberate on the implementation of an agreement arrived at the first round of the Lieutenant General talks on the 6th of June. Now, the meeting is likely to finalize modalities for disengagement of the troops from the sensitive region. The Indian delegation at the talks is headed by 14 Co-Commander Lieutenant General Harinder Singh, while the Chinese side is likely to be led by the commander of the Tibet Military District. The first two meetings had taken place at Moldo on the Chinese side of the LAC. In the second round of talks on the 22nd of June, the two sides arrived at a mutual consensus to disengage from all the friction points in eastern Ladakh. And India has rejected the absurd comments of the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, on linking India to the terror attack on the Pakistan Stock Exchange building in Karachi. The External Affairs Ministry spokesperson has said that Pakistan cannot shift the blame on India for its domestic problems. In a strongly worded response, unlike Pakistan, India has no hesitation in condemning the menace of terror anywhere in the world, including in Karachi. And the big development that had also taken place yesterday as far as banning the 59 Chinese applications is concerned. So, the mobile app TikTok has been removed from Apple's App Store and the Google Play Store after the government banned 59 mobile applications, including TikTok, Cam Scanner, and Share It over public concerns on data security. And keeping in mind the privacy of the people as well as the issues related to data security, the central government has taken this important decision last evening. And praising the decision of the central government, the Union IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad tweeted and said, I quote, "For the safety, security, defense, sovereignty and integrity of India and to protect the data and the privacy of people of India, the government has banned 59 mobile applications. Jai Hind," unquote. And welcoming the decision of the central government to ban 59 applications and reiterating the government's mission of a self-reliant India, the Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said, I quote, "The whole country has appreciated the decision of the Narendra Modi government to ban 59 Chinese applications. This will give a fillip to Indian startups and they will come up with better versions very soon. This is the right step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat," unquote. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. Thanks for being with us.